Metal Up World, this is CJ with CJOrtiz.com and MetalMotivation.com. This is the first of a new 5-message series I'm doing entitled The Power of Self-Education. Now, this 5-message series is being shown in my Life Domination online coaching program, which you can learn more about if you visit the link below. I'd love to have you be a part. All this week, again, the power of self-education. What do we mean by self-education? Well, you know what education means. And for a lot of you, if I say the word education, you think elementary school, junior high, high school, college, university if you went, or trade school. In other words, education is attached to an institution. And if so, probably a season that you're glad is over in your life. Well, one thing is for sure. The world is not getting any smaller, and competition abounds no matter where you are in life. Now, if you're like me and you've reached middle-age years, that truth becomes even more truthful, and your reality and awareness of it even stronger. That you're not who you used to be, that you cannot be necessarily as competitive as somebody coming out of college, as those were many, many years ago for you. So I had this awareness a long time ago that I had to always be learning. I had to always be increasing my knowledge, always educating myself. Now, when I went to school, I basically struggled in school. I did not do well. People think I did, but they're talking to someone who's started the education process hardcore after he got out of school. I barely got out of high school. It took 2 years of summer school just to get me to graduate high school. And I never got to wear the cap and gown because I was in summer school. So I got my diploma mailed to me. So I never got to walk the floor. I never got to get up on stage, receive my diploma, make my parents proud. It's because I goofed off in school. I did not take things seriously. But education became more important just a few years after. I went through some special seasons in my life, made some serious personal changes. Again, even as a young man, got married, started to have kids, went to work. But I didn't have any skills, so I basically did what most people did, construction, working in service industry, that type of thing. And I'm not obviously putting something like that down. Those are very reliable and can be very lucrative for you at a personal level. But for me, I knew I needed to move on. I had gifts and abilities and talents and things that I wanted to do with my life. I knew I could maximize my life so much more. But how was I going to get there? How was I going to increase myself? To the right, to the left, in order to be able to take advantage of the opportunities. The world was changing. Technology was advancing. Industries were being moved out of the country. So the world was a much different place, and I didn't know a hell of a lot about it, man, to be honest with you. So I needed to learn. I needed to educate myself. But what began was a transformation in my own life as I discovered the power of self-education. Now, as I said, education for most of us, we think in terms of an institution or school. And I do encourage that. In fact, later on, by the time I reached the age of 24, I had 2 kids at the time. We were just simply not able to make ends meet. So I finally decided to go to school. So I went to a trade school to get an associate's degree, which is a 2-year program. And my life radically changed after that. But who I became was so much more than that 2 years that I spent in a trade school. As it stands right now, I think I have over 3,000 volumes in my personal library, over 3,000 books. So I've accumulated a lot of resources over the years. I've got boxes and boxes of old cassette tapes and CDs and teaching things, and I still, even to this day, I'm always reading several things at the same time. I'm always watching. I'm always learning. I'm always hungry for more information. But what I realized is that as I was pursuing knowledge, as I was pursuing greater understanding, greater wisdom of my trade, of the world that I lived in, about money, about relationships, about all sorts of things, I did not realize that I was creating something, a more viable, a more valuable, a more marketable product. And that product was me. And so for you, your best product is you. Ultimately, what you are selling is you. Whether you already have a job, whether you're looking for a job, whether you're looking to get into a new business or career, start a business, no matter what it is, ultimately, your greatest product is you. But if you can commit yourself then to this process of self-education, I guarantee you new horizons are going to open for you. Opportunities will open for you that you never imagined before. My life radically changed when I started the process of self-education. Now, many years later, I've never really worked for any sort of company. I never really worked for a corporation. I was always independent, always had a side business or a full-time home-based business. So I've always been on my own. I'm an entrepreneur at heart. And the thing about being an entrepreneur, it can be scary for some people, but the thing about being an entrepreneur is that you learn to depend upon yourself. You learn to rely upon yourself. You learn discipline. You learn self-government. You learn self-reliance. You learn to believe in yourself. But I could not get there were it not for the process of self-education. And so that's what I want for you. That's what I want to see happen in your life. You don't have to go off and start your own business. You can be where you are. Start a side business. You can, again, remain in your own career. But the more you invest in self-education, the greater you're going to climb that corporate ladder. The more valuable you are going to make yourself no matter where you are in life and work. So if you'd like to see the rest of this series, it's going to be shown in my Life Domination online coaching program. It's a private coaching group. It's hosted on Facebook. I oversee the group, so you and I get to work together in a personal one-on-one coaching thing, answering questions. But the best part about it, you're in there with dozens and dozens of people just like you, highly motivated, people who have subscribed to this group in order to improve their lives. It's all video-based, so I show a single series of videos on a topic each week, 5 videos Monday through Friday shown in the private Facebook group. You get all of that for just $19.97 a month, and I hope and believe your life is worth that much. So please join me there by just visit the link below for more information, metalmotivation.com/life domination coaching. This is CJ, the Metal Motivator. And remember, in whatever you do, don't suck. Metal up.